has been on the IEM stage before, and he has made magic happen. And let's introduce the man. This is herO.
His 5th IEM finals, Maynard. That is ridiculous. And if you would have told me in the beginning of this weekend that he was going to be there, I didn't expect it. Neither did I expect this man, but he looked fantastic. It's herO. He has played so good.
So good. Can't even stress enough how good he's been looking in this tournament in all matchups, really. He hasn't, he got to play all matchups. Not everyone got to, but you see that he is just going to go for your regular expand build, taking the front first. But of course, he is against herO, so it's smart to be checking for a probe or a pylon at this point of the game.
Yeah, well, it would be awkward. I think right now he's trying to avoid maybe a scouting probe that could potentially be annoying and block his hatchery. And if you don't see a hatch there, normally you send the probe into the main. But he didn't have to worry about that because herO is living a little dangerous, but he's not going Nexus first, but he hasn't scouted yet. There are a couple of proxies available on this map. There are some Zergs out there that take the gold immediately. Some Zergs build a hatchery on the right side of the map. But herO has looked so incredibly good. Now, obviously, that is happening quite often when you make it to the grand final of the tournament. But I think I can't emphasize enough on how solid he has looked. It seems like he's almost never in trouble, never really had his back up to the ropes. Would be awesome, I think, for this finals if herO can take the lead, maybe get like a 2-0 lead or a 3-1 lead, because then we can finally see what herO is truly made of when it comes to him being under pressure and him being in a corner. But so far, it seems like nobody is able to put him in any sort of troublesome position.
Yeah, Rogue's wins, most of them have been very, very clean, whereas herO, I remember one particular game was a very clean win against Innovation in Game 5, but other than that, his wins have been dirty, they've been scrappy, they've been like bare-knuckle fist fights in the mud, Roddy. He's like ripped those victories away from his opponents and gone down screaming.
Since we have talked all weekend around and he keeps talking about the UFC and MMA, if these guys would have been in an MMA tournament right now, herO would still look picture perfect. And herO's eyes would probably be a little swollen, and he have a couple of cuts, maybe lost the teeth, but they did both make it to the grand finals. That's the only way to explain their route so far. So we do have a proxy. It is a proxy Stargate. Is that something we see often on Proxima? I wouldn't necessarily say so. I actually am not the biggest fan of proxying Stargates against Zerg, because obviously, yes, you shave off, let's say, 5, 6, 7 seconds of the time that it takes your Oracle to fly across the map, and it's harder to spot. But you're also often bound to lose that pylon later on. And I always like still having that Stargate, maybe a late Muta switch whatsoever. But for now, herO wants to proxy, he wants to deal damage immediately. And I guess I can't blame him when you go up against a man who has looked as intimidating as herO.
That's right, and he's already starting with just a single Adept at the front, trying to get a drone kill, doesn't quite get it, just forces a pullback and denies some bit of mining time. Rogue ready for that Adept in the main.
Yep, but Zergling speed is not done yet, so he doesn't want to chase the Adept because he knows herO is very good. herO is going to kill all 4 Lings and still get out of there, so you don't want to give him those free kills. herO wants to get one more Adept, but Rogue ain't falling for it. Now, don't forget that Oracle is about to pop. Rogue is scouting in the main right now, and this is that moment where as a Zerg, you're like, wait, what is going on? What exactly are you doing? There is not a single Spore in production yet. We do have Queens. There we have it.
Now, he is getting the spores out, but the Oracle is going to hit before they're finished. And even when you go for these fast 3 hatcheries, you, of course, always have your Queens. And I think the Oracle is going to get some damage, but let's see how much.
I think you should easily be able to get like 4, 5, 6, 7 drones perhaps here even, because a single Queen is not enough. 7!
Wow.
He wants that number 7, and he is going to get number 7. That is an awesome start for herO. And I guess this is the answer to why would you proxy? Well, because if you didn't proxy, those spores would have been done. With the proxy, they were not done yet. 7 drones, that's awesome.
And now we see at the end of that, herO getting his 3rd Nexus dropped down. He's already up in probes. He's in a lovely spot here. I mean, he may actually, I think the Phoenix may get out just in time.
I don't think it's going to get out, actually. Not yet, at least. And that's very bad for many reasons. Obviously, having a Phoenix is nice, but it's mostly nice to kill all those Overlords that are out for free, and you can use it to maybe lift a single Queen and then send the Oracles in again. So this may not look like a big deal, but that's a massive snipe for herO, and actually gives him quite a bit of breathing room in this game.
Yeah, absolutely right, and that just means that pure Mothership Core and Adept is the defensive tools here for herO. He does still have these two oracles, sort of Neeb style, still alive, looking for more openings in that drone line.
Interesting attack here. We're going to see that random 6 adept attack with 2 oracles, something a lot of the European Protosses have been doing quite often as well. You know, it hits with a couple of gateways. There is nothing here. This is very annoying. I love this by Rogue. I don't think, well, I mean, going for this balance is never bad. You unpower one of the gates. Meanwhile, there's 2 stasis in the main.
Huge stasis wards, getting a ton of drones, but a gateway and a cybercore unpowered. There's no defense at the wall in here, and he's going to start to lose probes back at home as well. A nice overcharge there, defensive warp into the depths, and herO is going to hold on, and he's going to lose it. He's going to lose just 2 probes here by the looks of things. Those things are pretty hurt now.
I'm almost sad that he didn't go in with the adepts. I guess we know exactly how much there was, but there were only like 10, 11, 12 links. If you shade those adepts somewhere on the outside of the spore away, then you use the oracles as well. I think it would be very, very hard and awkward for Rogue to engage into that. Look at the explosion, the gateway. There's 5 more gates are being wiped in, and resonating glaciers being researched as well. I don't think this game is going to make it to the 15-minute mark, Maynard.
I don't think so. Rogue is going to be get hit hard and fast by a really big adept attack, and this is a big stasis ward. The lava and the drones getting caught here. Reaction from Rogue, at least in the back of the third base, but the main got caught good and proper. That's a big ward there.
That's like as much as you can ever hope for, I think, with the stasis, other than maybe getting a couple of queens as well. But that is a lot of drones, getting those units as well, and those cocoons. Now, herO is still building probe. Damn, herO's probe count is low. Like, oh my god, that is low.
Yeah, this is, I mean, if herO doesn't end the game here, he's going to be on the back foot for sure. It depends on how much damage he gets done. The gateways are complete. Resonating Glaives is about to finish as well, and the Warp Prism coming in to reinforce. And he is going to be hitting with a ton of adepts. Banelings are morphing now, though.
It's a lot of Banelings. They were not done yet. They're almost done, though, so herO is going to have to be very careful. Obviously, Baneling speed is not done yet. That is a massive upgrade, because it's a lot easier to split your adepts when Baneling speed isn't done. That is a silly amount of adepts. And it's all going to come down to how good will these spreads be for herO.
He's pretty good at splitting these adepts. I've seen it happen before. And he is shading forward here. I don't know. Yeah, he's not going to let that complete. There's too many Banelings here. He's starting to split these adepts up. And the Banelings are looking for big connections. They're getting a lot of these adepts, but plenty of them are still alive.
Yeah, a lot of them do survive. Obviously, the next warp in is going to be massive, but that wasn't disastrous for Rogue. Even though the army of herO is so big, and with that many gateways, he's going to be able to warp in 8, 9, 10 adepts at a time. The queens are going to run low on energy as well.
Oh, he shades those adepts forward. The Banelings catch him in the main, but that's not enough Banelings here for Rogue. He's desperately trying to make more. He's linking as many links as he can, but I think this might be critical mass here for herO. He's shading into the back third. Banelings connecting with some adepts here, but they are still doing damage.
Well, I mean, those Banelings actually do quite a bit of damage. There's a spine there as well, which could perhaps make Rogue's life a little bit easier. Don't forget, if he can kill the Prism, or if he can somehow survive, even losing 20 drones is not the end of the world, because herO had no drones, but herO is not planning on losing all of his adepts. At least I don't think he is.
And the Prism is still alive. The Queen's going down as well. That's his anti-air against this Prism. They're trying to get it down, but it is going to let the warp in finish. And herO just has too much, I feel. He's going to continue. Oh, styling in the main base. No chill from Root Gaming's herO as he continues to take a commanding lead in game 1.
herO with no respect for Zerg Live or Rogue's defense so far here on Proxima, as Rogue is still trying a little bit, but he knows that this is over as well. That is way too many adepts, and herO, with an incredibly low economy attack, gets the job done here on Proxima.
And GG! herO takes game number 1 for Rogue in game 1, but we are in game 2. In the top left here from Root Gaming, winning game number 1. This is herO.
This man just has it at the Intel Extreme Master Tournament so far. I mean, throughout history, he won 3 of them, lost the final. Now he's going to go up against this man, who's down 0-1. It's Rogue.
Rogue, of course, is looking for his first ever championship. He's made it to so many top 8s. He's been a sort of a dark horse in many, many tournaments here. And this time, he's coming into a final with a lot of people saying that he's got this one.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Because in 2015, Rogue was the ultimate top 8 finisher. Got a whole bunch of them, and at that point, when he made it to the global finals, a lot of, especially Zerg fans, were really picking him as perhaps the guy to go all the way. They said, Rogue is awesome, Rogue is underrated. Didn't have the run that people hoped. I mean, he had a good run. I think it was top 4 or top 8. He got pretty far, but he didn't end up winning the whole thing. And after that, it's just been a little quiet around him. but it seems like he has truly stepped it up over the last few months. He's been dominating the ladder, and now apparently he's dominating nerds in this tournament as well.
That's right. Well, let's see if he can start to get a foothold in this series. Map number 2 here on Ascension to IO. We see he's just going for a pretty regular, just hatch, gas, and pull here, and herO 1 gate expanding.
Yeah, so obviously that build by herO was cool and all. If you're Protoss, if you're not Protoss, you're probably throwing up in your mouth. You're like, that's disgusting. How can anybody be proud of playing that brave? But that is not a build you can do over and over and over again. herO is going to be more prepared. The creep spread is going to be a tiny bit better next time. He will lose less drones against the proxy. The banelings are going to be a little quicker. The spread is going to be better. The spines are going to be in place if he picks up on it in time. And that is something you can bust out maybe 2 times in a best of 7, but I honestly doubt that. I think that is a one-time thing that herO just like, all right, I've got this for Proxima, I believe it can work, but from this point on, herO is going to have to bring up some other stuff as well. And eventually, Maynard, I think he's going to be forced to macro too. Now, we know that he can do it against Terran, but against Zerg, that's obviously a very different matchup. Completely different ballgame.
Yeah, that's right. I saw it a couple games against Solar, but of course they were pretty weird games in general.
I mean, when you put Solar against herO, it's just like, all right, you kill 15 of my workers, I'm going to kill 17 of yours, and let's continue. Like, it's just, those two, that's a very fun stylistic matchup.
That's right, and they traded series with, of course, herO being the one that won the extra map in the end. And getting here. I mean, all of his series have gone down to the last map, herO, and it's incredible to see him all the way here in the grand final, and we'll see if it's the same thing. I want 7 games again.
He's already building a pylon on the south side of the map. I just kind of wonder what he's going to do with it. Maybe a gateway for some faster warp-ins. I'd expect a dark strike kind of, but maybe he's going to go very fast resonating glaives. That seems to be the case, so this has to be a gate, right? Like anything else wouldn't really make much sense.
I mean, yeah. I mean, a Stargate when you go for a Twilight Council like this, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it would be too late. I mean,
yeah.
The other way around would make a lot more sense. So we do see a gateway, but as our observer showed as well, there is an Overlord that's awfully close.
It is a
gateway. Is herO just going to go for like a 2-base Adept all-in?
It's starting to look like it. He's getting that gateway morph down here at that proxy pylon. The Overlord herO just edging the vision of it, but not quite catching it.
How does herO do this in every game?
He knows exactly. He seems to read his opponents like a book as far as map vision goes and being cheeky.
All right, so now we have an Overlord Scout in the main base. This is a very, very important moment for Rogue. What does he see? He sees a Twilight Council and he sees it's being produced as well. Now, there are some weird charge builds out there as well, so this doesn't mean by any definition double Stargate is going to be the follow-up. That's awesome. I love myself some Adept into double Stargate. Maybe we might even see some +1 air weapons. Obviously, we expect a lot of Phoenixes here. Anything else would be odd, I think.
I mean, maybe Oracles, but I kind of agree with you. I think Phoenixes make a lot more sense because Zerg's going to want those Hydralisks at some point. Phoenix is a lot better against that kind of unit composition. And there's the Adept Warp in. Resonating Glaive very seconds away from finishing here.
Probably going to go with 6 Adepts. Maybe he's going to wait for 8 or 9, but I think 6 is a pretty good number. And that's very important for Rogue that his Lings are in position. Against the Stargate build that herO is currently going for, the last thing you ever want is lose a whole bunch of drones early on. Because if you end up losing workers against all these Adepts, that means that the Phoenixes are going to show up and you're going to have a very, very hard time dealing with these Phoenixes.
Ooh.
3 Adepts do get caught down in the middle of the map. Glaives is already done, so with a little bit of micro, I think 2 of these Adepts can survive.
Never mind, no micro involved at all, and the Adepts will go down. There's those Stargates being scattered by herO, and also some Lings getting probe damage as well.
This is very nice, but there's also Adepts in the natural mineral line though of Rogue, and these Adepts do have resonating glaives, so you gotta respect them, Maynard. I don't think there is a Baneling nest even, so just dealing with this with Lings is quite tough.
Absolutely right. There's no splash damage, means the Lings and the Queens need to DPS these units down. And meanwhile, they are tanky. They have the Shade ability, which is a short cooldown as well, so they're just going to bounce from base to base here. Oh, there's a catch.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him cancel there because the Queens were so far out of position. But herO didn't know that. He's going to go straight forward, shades into the Queens, ends up losing these Adepts. But the beautiful thing is, Maynard, this is only the beginning, right? The Phoenix count is going to go up. Right now, you look at the economy, it's 45 against 47. It's supposed to be better than that for Zerg, obviously, but it's going to be really hard to drone up because he's going to keep making Adepts. Rogue is going to be forced to maybe make spines, make more units. It's going to be very annoying. And once he's finally done in worrying about these Adepts, the Phoenixes show up. And even if your name is Rogue or you're the child of Soki, you're still going to lose drones because there's nothing you can do against 7, 8, 9 Phoenixes.
No, you're absolutely right. It's just too many. hero's starting to get those Phoenix counts up. He's moving through the middle of the map here, heading towards the base of Rogue, and he has an adept count as well at that proxy gateway, don't forget. But Rogue is starting to get some banelings now.
He shouldn't lift queens yet. I would only ever lift this many queens if I have +1 air weapons or I have a ridiculous Phoenix count. There's a dropper lord morphing, I guess, in the left top side of the map.
Yep, there it is there. I mean, this could do damage, but it's dangerous because of the Phoenixes, right? But they are being rallied through the middle and not to the right, though.
Yeah, but exactly. Normally, you want to be active with your Phoenixes on the other side of the map. That is a lot of adepts with Resonating Glaives, though. The banelings ain't done yet. Where is herO going to go with it? He decides to cancel, and that also means the Banes will finish up. You know what I would have preferred to see from herO? Instead of waiting for this big attack, send in 2 adepts, kill a couple drones. Send in 2 adepts, kill a couple drones. Even if you suicide those adepts over and over again, because that will eventually snowball. Look at the work account, 37 against 47. He forced out a lot of units, though, with all these adepts. And these Phoenixes are just going to have the time of their life.
And some sentries actually get warped in here, so they will be able to force build if they need to. It doesn't actually need to at this point. A warp in and a wall in there, but a drop into the main with some links is definitely going to get some damage done. Oh, a late reaction from herO.
+1 melee, I think, is already done for these circlings, so fighting that with probes is very risky.
Whoa. What is he doing here? He's just surrounding them with the pros, but there's just not enough numbers, and the sentries get taken out as well.
No, hero's completely falling apart here in game number 2 on Ascension to higher as more links are going to try to break into the natural as well. These banelings got good connections. herO, I mean, he's still in an all right position, I guess, even though he's down quite a bit in workers, but he's going to kill a few more drones as well. This game is a bloodbath, Maynard.
It is. Both players have just been hit really hard in both economies. They are on even workers right now. Actually, Rogue slightly ahead, and that's okay for the Protoss. He is going to start to lose his army, though. The Lings are coming in. 16 drones have gone down. The Phoenix is obviously still alive as well.
What I'm worried about right now is, can herO keep his expand and his base safe on the other side of the map? That one Dropperlord, it's a cool thing about getting Dropperlords against Stargate play. Often Protoss players, they get a little lazy, right? They're like, hey, I've got Phoenixes. No man in his right mind is going to go for drop play when I have Phoenixes. Well, Maynard, that's when it's the best.
Rogue's a madman. He's going to tear apart this proxy that's been such a thorn in his side for game 2 here. It's going to finally go down.
If he didn't have those Lings in the main, I think this is almost game over, because it's just going to snowball. herO's going to kill more and more drones. He's going to force out more and more units as well. These Phoenixes are still not done. Where are the queens, man? We have 8 queens. Come on, Rogue, you've got so many.
I think they were just chilling here. Like, he obviously had them there for the adept attack, but I don't think they've been out in the map, because his creep spread isn't incredible either. He hasn't been dropping tumors on the edge of his creep. The queens haven't been spread out again.
I mean, obviously it's hard because Phoenixes are way faster than queens, but I think if you have this many queens, at least keep 2 queens per base. So there's 2 queen and a spore, and then as a Phoenix player, you gotta get a little worried. Like, this base is incredibly well protected, but no man in his right mind, not even Tom Cruise from Top Gun, would fly into that base. Just go for the other ones, Maynard.
That's right. Maverick's got nothing on herO here. He's coming into the main with the Phoenixes, looking for more econ damage. Another scout here from Rogue. He sees that the Templar Archives is 3/4 of the way done, so there's a transition from herO inside.
So the first Hydras are on the way. It's very, very important. If I was Rogue, I would maybe save up a little bit and make a whole bunch of Hydras at once. Even though the Phoenix count is not that high, but if you pop Hydras like 1 or 2 at a time, the Phoenix can swing in, and they kill Hydras very, very fast.
And hero's been starting to make Immortals in the back of this as well, on the sidelines. Yeah, this is a nice little run by here. Some High Templar in here potentially in danger. But that's a neat little Sim City here from herO. It's going to be a little bit tough.
Well, that Baneling drop is coming in from the left bottom side. I love how Rogue is showing Zerglings. He's like, hey, look at my links. You should really look at the links. There's something red on your minimap. And at that moment,
in the natural, a bunch of probes are going to go down. 10 probes going down to the drop there.
Would you say, oh my God, it worked?
I would.
Because that totally works.
And that's not nothing at all. That's a lot of damage here by Rogue. He's been showing that drop Baneling play in this tournament so far and done a great job with it. He's 72 workers versus the 57 probes of herO now.
Such a typical herO game. 40 drones have gone down in this game. 29 probes have gone down as well. 73 links, 20 adepts. And from this one, it's like, all right, I guess we get Storm against Hydra Bane, like nothing ever happened.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean, man. When that depth sets came in and the Dropper Lord came in, they both kind of reset economies to the earlier stages of the game. One Phoenix getting picked off there by the Hydralists. He knows the Hydras are out now, obviously, so have to be a little bit careful on creep.
Yeah, get 2 Hydras. I think getting no, the other Hydras are too close. I think you want to be very, very careful now with these Phoenixes because they still represent a lot of value, especially if you end up losing all of them. Then we know that more Banelings could get dropped, more Lings could find their way into the main base. Storm has finished up, though, so I mean, this is a hard game to read. Normally, people would say with these supplies and Storm already done that, this looks really good for herO. I don't necessarily disagree, but +2 melee is done already. And we've seen herO do a couple of very strange things throughout this tournament. He's been awesome, and he's been odd. So I will refuse to call this game is over.
That's absolutely right. It looks like he wanted to go for another Dropper Lord, but got worried about the Phoenixes there. Didn't want to get it taken out or spotted. These Phoenixes of herO are actually looking for that exact play here from Rogue, because it did so much damage to him just a few moments ago.
This is interesting as we see that the invitation pit going down. And the reason I say that it's interesting is because... Oh, what? NA!
That's not how Phoenixes work, mate. But we have the Iris heading through the middle of the map here. A bit of a move out here from Rogue, looking for possibly some Phoenixes. He has muscular augments.
Yeah, I just have the feeling that he drops the invitation pit because maybe Rogue doesn't believe that he can end the game here with a Hydra Bane attack. He obviously wants to do damage. He maybe wants to reduce the High Templar count, and he doesn't want to go up against 8 or 10 Immortals, but there are already quite a few Immortals out. The Archon count is getting... Oh my god, no Banelings.
Wow.
Go back! Rogue,
that's a mistake for sure here. He absolutely needed it. I think he thought he had it, and now that they're morphed, they have to slowly waddle back onto the creep.
No, you don't do that. So now we see a Spire go down and the Hive. And so if we weren't sure yet if Rogue wanted to end the game on layer attack, we definitely know the answer to that right now. It's obviously why he dropped the invitation pit too. It's Phoenixes.
Ooh, catches one there. Nice little bit of damage. Of course, the Baneling's still with his control group, so the Phoenix is going to be able to catch a couple of them before the Big Daddy Hydras come in and bully them away.
hero's probably wondering, no, don't go for the triple lift. He's gonna lose one Phoenix. The other one took a lot of damage.
Another drop here, a couple hurt probes and a few units in position, but they're not. Oh, there's that pull-off. Knife reaction there from herO. He is looking at the minimap after all.
Kind of odd to see 2 Swarmos on the production tab.
Yeah, I mean, if I see 1, I think it's a mistake.
Yeah.
If I see 2, maybe not.
Maybe he did make a mistake, but he'd be afraid that 1 Swarmos would be lonely, so he's like... Everybody needs a friend, Maynard.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Ooh, 3 more Dropper Lords on the way here for Rogue. I think that he might try some Bane Rain during the big engagements here. Maybe look for the Sentries, look for the High Templar. Oh, there we go. And here's some more probe kills. 11 this time, 1 more than the last drop.
Man, Rogue is on 88 workers. That's awesome. Against the 56, or 65, excuse me. No.
Yeah, 56.
56, there we go.
You got there.
Yeah, eventually. 1 more Phoenix going to go down as well. So herO is actually in a tricky spot now because he's getting a very expensive army, right? We're getting more High Templars, more Immortals, Mama Core as well. And that's all cool, but with the economy that he has, the 60 workers right now, if he loses a fight, Maynard, he's going to have a very hard time in remaxing an army that's anywhere near as powerful as the army he currently has.
Both players have killed about 40 of each other's workers in this game. It's been very scrappy in the mineral lines.
You're going to pop like 4 locusts and kill
guess
workers?
So. I guess so. I mean, it's free damage technically, but these things aren't, you know, they're not free.
No, and they take quite a bit of supply as well, especially if you have 81 drones, which is the case for Rogue.
He's going for a big drop here. Maybe looking for the main, maybe trying to get on the production. That's quite a big drop. Some locusts coming in here. Maybe they can get a couple probe kills, but there is, of course... Well, actually, there's no units here.
Well, I mean,
and the cannons are out of range.
I guess they'll definitely get a couple. And don't forget, this also serves as a distraction maneuver. Well, they go for cannons instead. But he's focusing on the drop on the left top side of the map, while herO is actually going to march across the map. That is a lot of Banelings. Where's Cetosis?
So many Banelings here, Roddy. They're getting morphed here on the creep. The Archon's going to tank these Banelings with these Immortals, doing a lot of damage. The Immortals want to get into the Hydralisk line, and they are starting to find it. Storm's going down the Banelings as well. Where's the force fields from herO?
Oh my
Doesn't even have them.
I mean, a lot of Banelings do connect, though, to the middle, so a lot of the High Templars are gone. Most of the Archons are gone as well. Rogue is maxed out. He's making 94 Zerglings at once, a couple of Hydralisk as well. But there are still Storms. Storms is powerful, man. And obviously, 94 Zerglings will never kill a Mothership Core. So I'm kind of curious to see how Rogue's going to deal with that. But he can make a couple of Corruptors, and he's destroying everything that herO has on the other side of the map.
Yeah, herO might not have a home to come home to here. The Corruptors are out as well for the Mothership Core, and they are coming forward. Huge storms there from herO, though, keeping a lot of his army alive, but the Mothership is down, and now Rogue can start to clean this up.
Yep, it's just Immortals and 1 Archon, but we do have a couple of Zealots in the main base. This can actually still... I mean, in a bizarre world, okay, those Banelings got a couple of very good connections, that's nice. If the Immortals go down, don't forget, herO can barely remake a unit, but does Rogue have enough to clean this up? Okay, now all the Queens show up as well, and the Hydras.
Yeah, it looks like he does indeed. The Prism may get out of here. There's only 1 Hydra spitting at it. There's the Corruptors trying to chase it down, and he's actually lost. His production is completely unpowered here. His deck is unpowered. His Nexus is dead.
Yeah.
26 drones went down during this attack.
That got a little bit close there because there was only a 15 to 20 supply army advantage for herO. A lot of Hydras are on the other side of the map, and he has a lot of Corruptors that didn't do anything. So at one moment, but I think the Baneling softening up those Immortals that much made it very nice for those Queens to come in from the north side. Now finally, herO is going to be able to maybe clean up this drop. herO could technically pick up these units. Ah, he wants to get the High Templar.
Yeah,
the Templar Archives.
He gets it and then gets out of there, and that means no more Archons now. It's going to be tough for herO to make these scary late-game units. Meanwhile, Rogue has his own scary late-game units here with 4 more Broodlords to join the couple that he already has. These Hydras have just been sitting here with these Dropper Lords. They've been going back and forth between the main and this third Nexus, doing more and more probe damage. And another run by here with these Lings as well, with a lot of hurt probes that are definitely going to go down.
God, you gotta love how active Rogue is with his units, the mobility of Zerg. Zerg has fast units, well, let's use it. He's everywhere at once. There's one Phoenix remaining that could maybe... Oh, no, the kills on these Hydras. Can we get a look quickly?
Well, you better hurry up because they're about to die.
8 and 5, that's 13 kills though. That's quite a few. Very, very efficient drop by Rogue. What an awesome game of StarCraft, Maynard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we are getting into the stage of the game where it is a tough one to call, but at the moment I'd say that Rogue in a pretty decent spot here with all these Broodlords that haven't joined the fight just yet. His army supply is up above, of course, herO. And herO still has to remake his Templar, his Twilight Council, his Templar Archives, and all that needs to be made. And he just feels like he doesn't have enough. He saw the Broodlords.
I feel that China loves innovation. Whenever he played, they were just lining up.
Don't we all? And in the top left here, from Root Gaming, this is herO.
Not smiling just yet. I can't believe that he was dancing his units in game 1, by the way.
And in the bottom right from Gina Greenwing, this is Rogue. Yeah, he was styling, trying to get into his opponent's head a little bit. He knows Rogue could see it because it was on creep. He was just being a cheeky boy.
Yep. I guess, I mean, that's just the way that he looks at it. I'm always nervous that if I would do something like that, it backfires, right? Because you set yourself up for disaster. It's like, oh, you remember that guy that lost the dances units in the first game and then lost 4 games straight, you know? Like,
you never let it down. Yeah. The community will never let you forget it either.
No, like if you do it in the final game of the tournament or the final game of a series, I mean, it can be cheeky and some Manimules here and there, but doing it in game 1 of what is most likely to be a very long best of 7, it's a little bit risky. Oh, okay. We've got a good old double gate on 1 base opening over here from herO.
So you put on some adept pressure in the early stages here of this game. Yeah, this is kind of the build that Protoss has sort of started to do against Zerg in like early stages of Legacy of the Void. So it's cool to see it come back.
Yeah, but I don't know. This one, I feel like you have to do quite a bit with it. The adept control is going to be, or has to be, incredibly on point. Because if herO messes up with this opening, let's say you shade in the first 2 adepts and you only kill a drone and you end up losing 1 or 2, and then adept number 3 and 4 are late. I don't know. Maybe he's going to set this up. Maybe it's just like he's going to produce units 2 at a time. And then he's going to follow it up with an Oracle, and he goes for like a very fast Oracle and 6 gateway attack, I think. Well, not 6 gateway, but 6 unit attack, basically. Kind of odd. Let's see where herO takes this.
Well, as far as openings go, pretty regular for Rogue. Same deal as last game. I mean, most Zergs are going to open this way. Just catch full. It's the most sensible opening for ZVP. And herO's going to get his first bit of information here with this probe. It's going around the outside, though. Actually, maybe not even scouting. It looks like he's got his... yeah, he wants to drop maybe a proxy pylon, maybe another gateway, or maybe a Stargate.
Yeah, I think if you would go, let's say, 2 adept and 2 more adepts, and you get a Stargate, then you can potentially apply some very early pressure with a couple of gateway units and a proxy. But we'll see what happens. The Overlord is making his way into the natural now. It's going to spot these 2 adepts. So Rogue, obviously being the super pro that he is, immediately knows, like, hey, that's too fast for 2 adepts. You know, normally you don't have 2 adepts that fast. So we're going to see a couple of Zerglings being produced. He's still going to go up to 3 bases. Now it's an adept and a stalker. So now I really want to know, what is herO going to proxy?
Yeah, this is interesting here. The adepts are shading forward, of course. The high ground here is a little bit dangerous. There's a lot of Lings here.
Yeah, you got to be very careful here, herO. I mean, he gets a couple of Lings, but you don't want to end up losing an adept. There's quite a few Lings here with 2 queens. I think 1 adept might go down, even though there's a little bit of misfire there by Rogue, but he's still going to get at least 1 adept.
Yeah, and the other one looks like it's going to shade into the high ground here on the main.
Overlord spots the pylon, by the way, in the left bottom side.
There it is. So Rogue, once he cleans up these adepts, probably going to go down there and make sure that nothing gets dropped down there. The Stargate, in fact, herO is dropping it back at home, so this proxy's not going to have anything happen.
Yep, so he's going to end up losing that pylon as well. This wasn't worth it, I think. I mean, yes, you force out quite a few Zerglings, but 2 gateways before Nexus, this is not that economic. And then he wants proxy as well, so he's going to end up losing the pylon. This is one of these games where not too much has happened yet, but I can tell you from experience, playing and watching, that this isn't all that great for herO.
Yeah, and it also slows down the Stargate as well. Like, the Protoss generally want some kind of tech, whether it be Robo or Stargate at this point in the game, and it's not even done just yet. Stargate's about to finish, and Rogue gets his third hatchery up very comfortably.
Yep, he's going to be able to saturate it quite quickly as well. We see another gateway. Kind of wonder what herO is going to do. Does herO feel comfortable enough to still turn this into a macro game? Are we ever going to see a Forge, a Twilight? Or is he going to do something very silly like a 6-7 gate all in, maybe get a Warp Prism and just go for it early on? Maybe another low economy attack. Because I feel like if he's just going to macro up, keep a close eye on the worker count. Right now, herO's up 3 workers, right? Look at it again in like 65 seconds from this point on. Rogue is going to be quite far away. Those links could have just ran in, by the way, and that would have been awful to deal with.
Yeah, luckily for herO, that's not the case. 2 Adepts shading in here, getting a couple drone kills.
Wow.
Oh, a transfer as well, catching a third.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets already 3, this is, I would almost say, already worth it. There's a Dropper Lord being morphed as well on the other side of the map. These Adepts might get a few more kills. If herO micros it, now he's going to settle for the 2. So let's take a look at that Dropper Lord. This was an awesome Adept attack, by the way. I really did not expect that at all. Are those Queens?
They
4
are queens.
How many links are out on the map? Only, what?
16 lings, there you go.
So he's just going to try to cancel the turret, I assume?
Very possibly, or even going to the natural. We'll see here.
He already baited down an overcharge. These links started working on the Nexus, so he baited down an overcharge before this attack. And that's already going to make it quite hard. Maybe he's going to drop the Queens into the natural. There's a Void Ray being produced as well, but Void Rays ain't that good against Queens, especially not 4 Queens, Maynard.
And they are getting dropped in the back natural, Roddy, with their extra range, with transfuse energy as well, and the ability of this fast Dropper Lord to get them out of harm's way. They are going to engage these probes here. A lot of the probes actually getting muscled behind the probe line. They have to use the minerals to drill on through. The Oracles are coming back. Transfusion's going down the Queens to keep them alive. The Oracle's going to die.
Wow,
and the Queens are getting out, but the Overlord gets taken down.
Yeah, I mean, but he does get the Nexus still. That's an Overlord with 4 Queens. Rogue has droned up behind it. The Lings are going to be able to take down this Nexus. Now we do see a robotics facility finishing up as well. Another Dropper Lord is morphing somewhere. What a bizarre series so far, man. This is so unorthodox. This is so unlike most ZVPs we see.
Well, herO, of course, a creative and weird Protoss, but Rogue can be creative and weird as well. We've seen some pretty big all-ins and timings from him. And drop play, of course, coming to play again. He's going for Ling drop this time. I don't know if this one's going to go to the natural. I think he's going for the main here.
I would just wait a little bit as well. I would try to distract, maybe pull him out of position. And the moment that you know those Protoss units are out of position, look, 5 gateways plus 1 and a Warp Prism, by the way. hero's like, all right, you want to kill my third base? Let's see how you want to deal with this. But if these links can unpower it, they're also going to scout everything. Massive scout and potential for a little bit of damage.
Sentries here can force field and stop these links from getting into the mineral lab. They decide not to. The links are going to get in, and they are going to get some more probes. herO will clean this up. We'll see how much damage he takes.
Yeah,
the third base still getting denied by these lings of Rogue. It's really putting herO on the back foot a little bit.
Rogue should stop making... What? Rogue, what are you doing? Why are you making drones? Why are you making Dropper Lords? Just make units from this point, I'd say. Because all he has to do is defend. He saw the amount of gateways. He knows that herO's still on 2 bases. So the only thing he can lose to is to an attack right here, right now. This is everything or nothing for herO, and I have no idea why Rogue was investing in Dropper Lords, unless he wants to drop Banelings or something on that army, but I don't think he even has... Oh, he has a couple of Banelings now. Yeah. Okay, so getting Banelings on top of the sentries, that would be sick. The drones were very unnecessary.
There you go. So we'll see if that ends up being the detriment here. Nice tag on the Lings, sees the Banelings as well. Very, very important. Static defense is here for Rogue. This Spine Crawler is going to help out a bit. There's a lot of sentries though, and herO is so good with his force fields. So we'll see how we go. Those Dropper Lords with the Banelings want those sentries. Only a few Banelings in there though.
Yeah, there's a lot of Stalkers as well, and a Void Ray, so it's actually quite hard. Void Ray is going to shoot at the empty Dropper Lord. Hydra is going to be able to take the Void Ray, I want to say almost down immediately.
There it is.
They do get it in the end.
And Spore Crawler helping out as well. And then goes Rogue for this wraparound. A Stasis Ward catching a lot of those Lings as well. And the Warp Prism is still alive. Back it goes. The sentries have taken a bit of damage, but they are still here.
The biggest problem is that these Stalkers are not Blink Stalkers, and it's very, very awkward to fight with Stalkers against Hydras, especially once Muscular Augments is done. These spines make it very hard for herO to break through as well. He's going to try something cute here. He knows every second that goes by is a very good second for Rogue. So once again, now or never for herO.
He's actually supply blocked Rogue as well. Rogue has to make one more Overlord here. He can't make any more units for a little while. Time Warp going down here on the high ground from herO. Shading forward. I don't think he's going to let that one finish, or may actually let that one finish in the main. But he is going for the big attack here in the natural. No, he casts the shade. Just continues to be a pest outside of the creep.
Rogue is so confident and he's dropping links right now in the natural of herO. He's like, yeah, you're all inning me, but you know what? I'm just going to make sure that you really leave this game sooner. Go for some defensive warp ins, because here are a bunch of Zerglings with +1 melee, and herO knows that this is going from bad to worse. His army is bigger, but it's so hard for him to find an opening, and every second that goes by, it's more Banelings and more Hydras.
A bigger depth shade forward, actually, and I think these ones might do okay. A lot of the Banelings were there at the third base, so they're going to get into the mineral line here in the main. Another shade going to head back to get them to safety, but they're going to shade off a lot of drones.
Yep, and he got a couple of Hydras as well. This was a good move by herO. He's doing a lot of economic damage, but he still needs more, because he's down 4 workers, and he doesn't have a third base.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. No third Nexus means he is all in. Baneling speed about to finish, so that's going to make things easier for the defense of Rogue, which is pretty much all he needs to do, but he's going to go for a big run by during all of this.
Yeah, but, the Warp Prism is going to take a lot of damage.
Oh, that is going to take it out. Huge snipe there for Rogue. That means no positive aggressive reinforcements here for herO. The Adepts go into the main. There's a lot of Hydras, so the third base isn't getting pressured. The Stalker's getting caught in the middle of the map by Lings, and once again, they don't have Blink. They are going to get taken down.
Yeah, this is almost the beginning of the end, right? herO needed to do crucial damage with that attack. Rogue was so confident, again sending Lings out. If Rogue doesn't get the Prism there, that could have been very, very gnarly. But he's like, no, I just want to make sure that he's not expanding. Well, he's going to try to expand now. That's obviously because he lost the Warp Prism. But he even brought the Mothership Core. herO has no intentions in like making suddenly Immortals and Archons whatsoever, because he knows he's in so much trouble.
And Rogue is absolutely not going to let him get there. He's brought the big Mama Hydras this time, and they are going to make sure that this third Nexus goes down. herO does have sentries. He doesn't have a ton of energy and no real units. He's dancing his Oracle and tapping out. And Rogue is going to...
16, not that much. 2017, it's starting to look better. And now suddenly he's trying to make this an awesome year for himself.
That's right. He made it to the round of 8 of BlizzCon, and this time, let's see if he can be a champion. In the top right here from Root Gaming, this is herO.
If there's anybody that you want to beat in the grand finals, it has to be the Prince of IEM himself, the only Protoss that made it into the quarterfinals, and he went all the way. But this Zerg looks unstoppable. It's his destiny, perhaps. It's Rogue.
There's going to be at least 2 more maps in this series. This is the best of 7 grand final, so we've got plenty more games ahead of us, which makes me a happy boy. I love my StarCraft games.
Hopefully though, Maynard, hopefully, because if Rogue takes this one and he's up 3-1, then suddenly we have a couple match points, and Defenders landing. It's an awkward map. Nothing is impossible, and it's absolutely not impossible if you're herO. And herO is an awkward player, so maybe awkward maps go well with awkward players, but a lot of Protoss players, they don't like this map. There are 1,000 different ways to wall off. No Protoss has ever been in agreement with another Protoss' wall off saying that, all right, you actually have the best wall. It's like, you know, it's like babies. Everybody has their own wall, and they all think they're the best.
Yeah.
herO goes for a pretty unique variation that I haven't seen that much yet. We'll see how this one plays out.
Yeah, like you mentioned, there's 1,000 ways to wall off and 1,000 ways to die on Defender's Landing. There's so many attack paths. The natural's a little bit awkward to hold in the early stages of the game. The third is very wide open, and then your choice of fourth is really stylistic. Like, do you go for the extremely aggressive forward base, or do you go for the one on the high ground to the left that's a little bit tougher to hold? This map's got the shortest rush distance in this map pool, so it does sort of denote, you know, players going for early attacks and that sort of thing. It's not hard to reinforce. That's we'll see as we get into the mid stages of this game, as the natural Nexus is about to finish up for herO in Nexus first.
You know, it's really cool as well. Obviously, both these guys are very successful throughout the years, but both of them were at those 2015 global finals, and both of them were actually hyped up a lot. herO was perhaps the player that was going to take it all because he was incredibly good in shape back then, and Rogue was the one Zerg that could have potentially prevented that. In the end, herO actually lost back then in the quarterfinals against Classic, also a Protoss who's still pretty much the best Protoss in the world, or at least, you know, top 4, top 5 on any given day. Rogue made it to the semis back then, but he lost against a $100,000 man, SOS.
Yeah, $sign, of course, ending up being a multiple-time world champion.
So they both have their history with SOS, because obviously SOS took care of herO at that one big Into Extreme Masters Grand Final. Now we do see the Stargate being warped in here on Defender's Landing. Pretty quick. Hella quick layer by Rogue.
Yeah, getting a lair here on just not even 30 drones just yet. Just on 2 hatcheries.
So there are a couple of things that are possible, but I think when you're this low in economy, he's getting Zergling speed though. But there are a couple of Queen all-ins that could get the job done. Maybe he goes, unless he wants to go for the fastest Hydra Ling attack ever. I don't feel this is any sort of build where you can start making Banelings. Maybe he's gonna drop Queens. Maybe
with making the lair on this hatchery,
Infestation Pit, maybe? You think Swarm Horse? Is that
possible? I mean, so Iasonu try and whip them out on this map here against Terrans, but there is a lot of spots for Locust to fire off and get away safely, but I don't know, Roddy. This is a little bit of a weird lair. He's getting all of his gases now.
Yeah, I would say probably Swarm Host at first, and then we're going to take the game from there, but we'll see. This layer is almost done. It would also be World like Spires is not really a thing, because you don't have an economy, and you're just going to get shot down. No, it's just going to be a very fast Hydra then. So it's going to be something similar to what True likes to do, where you just attack with Hydra Ling incredibly quick. I do wonder if he's ever going to get a turret head. I mean, kind of expect him to get it real soon though, because both mineralized are incredibly well saturated. Now, Defender's Landing is a very small map. You get a little bit of a creep highway going for yourself, and if those Hydras blink twice, they're suddenly knocking down the cybernetics core on the other side of the map. The Oracle flies, the Oracle sees, wait a minute, a 2-base Zerg? What kind of nonsense do I have to worry about this time?
The Oracle's going into the main base. He wants to see any tech, but gets denied here. He does at least see the lair. So that gives him red flags to start locking things down tight back at home. So not going to be any Banelings here, just straight up Hydras and Lings. Like you said, very true style.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, right? Like, if you're herO and you scout this, you're like, oh, okay, I know this is going to be a messy game. But what do you do exactly against this? It's going to hit so incredibly fast. We're just going to see a lot of gateways, and then he's going to rush out either Resonating Glaives or Charge. I think both works. I don't think Blink Stalkers is really an option here. It's going to take too long. They're too expensive. I'd probably go for Charge and just try to somehow sandwich the Hydras, right? Because Zealots are very good if they can get on top of the Hydras. The biggest problem is Banelings normally make it super awkward for Zealots to get close.
Oh, I'd actually like to see herO just make a stupid amount of Oracles and get real weird in this game. Yeah. It's of course a possibility, but he is actually going for a robotics facility and dropping a bunch of gateways here on 2 Nexus.
What are you going to do with that Twilight herO? You're going to make up your mind. He's going to go for a Resonating Glaives instead. So he's going to have to buy a little bit of time. I wouldn't mind it, by the way, what you just said. More Oracles. He already has 3, right?
Yep.
I think that's really cool, because there are moments where maybe you can shade on top of the Hydras, and as long as your Oracles survive, you will survive. So I don't mind that suggestion at all. I have no idea why he's trying to expand. Maybe he was just trying to buy some time for himself. He's going to activate Pulsar Beam.
Oh my god, this is another extension from herO for sure. There goes the Oracles, and there goes the Adepts. And now all of a sudden, Rogue's just in a wonderful position. Just simple as that, he just overextended.
Yeah, I mean, Resonating Glaives wasn't even done yet. Why do you fight there?
Whoops.
Yeah, that is safe to say. That was a big mistake. Now he's going to cancel the Nexus. He canceled the Nexus.
Oh, wow. Stuff going from bad to worse here for herO. This,
So he's just going to go for an all-in instead. He's like, all right, how many gateways do I have? I mean, Rogue doesn't know this, though, right? Rogue still thinks that this Nexus is there. So if Rogue drones up, which is what he's doing, he does have a Lurker Den on the way, but it's going to take a little while. herO is going to try to steal another game of Rogue here with just nothing but Adepts. Protoss magic.
2-base, 8-gate Adept. It's going to be a lot of units here. Resonating Glaive's about to finish. Ling's going in here going, uh-oh. No 3rd Nexus. Yeah. There is going to be a big attack. 7 Hydras are on the way. And the Lurkers actually could be very crucial here, but I don't know if they'll be up in time. This, of course, is a very, very short rush distance map, and the Adepts are already on creep.
I don't think there is even an observer out on the map, so as soon as Lurkers are out, it's going to be very rough. Does he have sentries in that Warp Prism?
Yes, he does. And there's a force field on the ramp. It looks like it's not a full cover of the ramp though, and he is going to get the collapsible tower down, so that limits the options here for herO.
Yep, I mean, he's going to try to knock down the cooling tower. I think he's going to try it again. What if he, like, shades everything to the right side? Look at that Rogue. Rogue is like, oh my god, you are not stealing this game from me. I'm going to get a Spore Crawler there. It's not going to be that easy. But what if he just shades everything in, and then maybe he force fields a bunch of units into the main?
Yeah,
if he can fight the army here on the south side, if he can get like 5, 6, 7 Hydras to be stuck on the high ground, I think herO can win the fight on the low ground, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do.
And here he goes, the Prism getting unwarped there, so he can start to drop those sentries. He's going forward. Rogue wants to catch this Prism, though. He won't let him do it. He's boxing that Prism out of that dangerous spot, and herO shading into the 3rd base, getting a nice little position here. The Hydras are on the chase.
And don't forget about the Prism. Now all these Hydras are here. The Warp Prism is heading towards the main base once again, but there is a Spore Crawler there. A force field did go down, but Rogue is rock solid. He ain't falling for these Protoss tactics, and herO knows that he needed to do a lot more here than he actually did.
Yeah, he got 7 drones, but like Roddy said, that is not enough. The Adepts actually taking a bit more damage by these Hydras before they go home with their tail between his legs, and there is no third Nexus. I think herO is going to try and drop one down, but it'll be very, very hopeful to say the least.
Rogue is just like Neo in the Matrix right now, man. He's just avoiding. He's like, Protoss cheese. Can somebody make a gif for someone throwing cheese at Rogue and he's just touching everything like he's Neo?
I know the exact gif. At the very end of the movie where he puts his hand up and he says, no. And all the bullets stop in the air. It's just a bunch of cheese coming at him and he holds it all in the air and it just drops to the ground all limp and useless.
Yeah, it's beautiful so far what Rogue is showing us. You got to be excited over this, whether you play Zerg or Protoss or even Terran. Oh, I was about to say, if you let that finish, herO, everything is going to die real quick.
That's a suicidal shade there. Storm on the way here for herO is going to try and get splash damage as quickly as possible.
You know, which obviously normally is a great comeback mechanic, and I don't hate it. And Rogue doesn't have a massive worker advantage, so I don't want to talk herO out of this game just yet. There's one big problem, though. Lurkers. If he gets Lurkers...
Yeah, he cancelled the Lurker deck.
Oh, he cancelled it, okay, because he was under so much pressure. All right, so then actually Storm is just excellent all around. You gotta love that. A couple of Immortals as well. I mean, it's rough for herO, but then suddenly I don't hate it all that much, Maynard. If this Nexus is up and running, you can transfer workers from the main. Obviously, Rogue is gonna be mining out his main soon, and there was no Fort Hatchery yet. And he had quite a bit of gas saved up as well, so we already have 6 High Templars out on the map. I don't know how many of them have Storm, but it's possible.
He's gonna start clearing up some of this creep in the middle of the map for the high ground at least, of course, there's creep spread on the left. Rogue seeing some of that shade there, and herO shades to safety though.
I'm gonna get the Baneling Nest as, or excuse me, Baneling Speed, as it's already halfway down, 12 more Banes and more. It seems like Rogue's just gonna wait for it. He's gonna shove everything in at once, while herO is now only getting his +1 attack, but also the upgrades for Rogue are a little bit late, because obviously herO has been applying a lot of pressure throughout this game. Second robotics facility being wiped in now as well. herO is still quite confident that this game is gonna go on for a very, very long time. Getting a second robo in this phase in the game while having such a late third base.
Well, if anyone can come back in a dirty start, it can be herO. He's played these, I'm sure a lot of his PVZs look like this. Now the Lurker Den gets created here by Rogue. He's going to go for Lurker play.
Oh, that Prism is getting awfully close.
Ooh.
Oh my god, that was very important. He's going to drop some storms. Oh my god.
Flag. Massive storms on the Banelings and a lot of the Hydras taking a ton of damage as well. Oh, Banelings looking for the High Templars. They don't find them, but they get a lot of Adepts there.
Yeah, I was just thinking I'd love to see him restart the Lurker then. That's exactly what he's doing, but obviously herO already has a second robo on the way now as well. Those Banelings, they got good connections in the sentries, but at least for herO, they didn't get the High Templars. herO is gonna spot that as he's like, oh my god, you've got that many High Templars? I probably can end the game here, and he's right.
He saw a lot of them with the Changeling a little bit before as well, and he started into transition. herO is, that said, into charge, which is going to be a lot better against dealing with the Zerglings and closing the distance with these Hydralisks, but Lurkers are definitely going to be a danger. He does at least have double robotics facility, so he can get the tools that he needs against these Lurkers, but for now he's just making a lot of Immortals, and Immortals used to be the answer in the day for Lurker play. Oh, a run by here, the High Templar! Oh, a lot of them go down, and one of them steals. He does storm himself to death.
The one said, if you kill my friends, I don't want to live here anymore, and he took his own life. As the Hydra did get the final blow. A couple of Banelings on the left side do get really not all that much. We do have still High Templars as well on the other side of the map. I mean, both are just playing awesome. herO, you gotta be careful. Storm!
Oh, that's dead.
No, he's
that's
too late.
Dead. Yeah, too late here. Big Storm, though, does a lot of damage, but loses the Prism. Yeah, so Banelings, a little damage on the Hydras. They will regenerate, but it is damage.
And losing the Prism hurts though, because he wants to be building all this stuff. A couple of Lings are gonna run into the Natural and said, no, change their mind, go for the main. They're just getting that good warp in by herO. Otherwise, that would be very awkward, as these Lings do have +1. And we saw what happens earlier when +1 Lings go to town on probes.
Yeah, Lings with +1 or otherwise pretty good against probe lines. They look like they want to go for the robotics facility here. Charge lots from herO. Have a thing or two to say about that, though.
The armies were almost clashing with each other in the middle of the map. One Archon did get picked off, but herO has taken an army supply lead. Obviously, Rogue has been saving up a little bit. 12 Lurkers. How high is the Immortal count? 8. Okay, well... Man, that's a crazy game, Maynard.
Yeah, this one's getting a little bit dicey for both players here. It's kind of hard to call. That's so many Lurkers, though. 13 of them being morphed in total.
Yeah, but 10 Immortals? I mean, if they can get close enough, I absolutely don't think that this is impossible. Getting on creep is so dangerous, though, as Rogue is going to prevent herO from going up to 4 bases. A couple of High Templars were exposed there as well, and that's always nice. as they do morph into an Archon, but they will probably fall regardless. Maybe the other Archon can save the day.
Oh, mainly run by here into the third Nexus. They're going to get some probes for the pullback and keeps most of them alive.
Excellent probes, excellent pulls this game by probe.
That was actually the only observer of herO that just died there. He doesn't have any other observers alive. So these lurkers could do a lot of damage to him here when they start to join the fight.
Yeah, if they actually go north, a couple of Banelings will connect with these adepts and they will finally clean that up. Is Rogue just going to run across the map? Yes, he does. No observer, no Oracle either. And he's going to end up losing perhaps a robotics suit. He does have a couple of cannons there, but that is a lot of lurkers. Do you want to run into that?
I don't think so. This ramp is suicide for herO, and he's going to lose one of the robotics facilities, which is making an observer. He has to use the one in the main, and he loses one of his robotics facilities. These lurkers going straight up into range of the natural, and herO just has to go for it.
Yeah, he's just going to run to the other side of the map. Zealot's going to take care of a hatchery. Be careful with your High Templars, herO, because it could be that this is going to be a very low eco game. One of them took a lot of damage. If the Banelings get close to the High Templars, I think that is the end.
Big storms coming down here. A lot of the Banelings still connecting very nicely though. Charge Lord's coming in to help out herO. Is there enough? The storm's actually killing a lot of the Hydrals here, and without lurkers to help him out, he's going to take a lot of damage here back at home.
Yeah, if Rogue actually ends up losing everything, where is that observer? Is it at home? Is it here?
I don't think it's anywhere nearby, Roddy. Well, the observers are in the natural, the other one's down by the fourth base, so he's actually nowhere near this fight.
Yep, the Zealous keeping these Immortals alive for now. Now the observer shows up. Don't fly into that sport runner.
No! Oh no! There it goes. Goodbye, observer. Goodbye, detection. And the lurkers continue to press the issue here. They're in range. These High Templar are actually in danger. They have to pull back. There's an observer. Is there even enough Zealots to clean them up?
Well, that one Immortal's pretty powerful. Damn! Come on, avoid those spikes. I guess there were 7 different fights going on at once, so he wasn't paying attention. Look at that Immortal. He's laughing in the face of danger. He's avoiding everything, but herO has lost so many probes. He's going to end up losing these Immortals as well, and that could very well be it. Rogue is going to return the favor with a Manor Hatch.
A Manor Hatch being dropped here by the fourth base. Will it even get up there? I hope it does. Both players starting in each other's faces. GG! Rogue has been looking on fire in the last couple maps.
Looking at the main base, so our Protoss player instead needs to win 3 in a row. It's herO.
So many fans out there in the crowd, and we've seen him come back from this far of a map deficit before. So I believe in his ability to do it again, but this guy's going to try and stop him and become the champion for the first time. This is Rogue!
Probably been thinking all these years, I would look good kissing a trophy. And he's getting awfully close right now. All he has to do is win 1 out of the next 3 games, and it will be all his. Interesting, he actually takes the pocket expand first on Blood Boil, and I say interesting because most of the time Zerg players actually prefer to take the other base first.
Yeah,
I want to say the only thing I can think of is maybe he wants to go for a link flood and he feels the extra mineral patches could help. But on the other hand, your reinforcements are going to be a little bit later when you take that base, because you take the pocket expand. And obviously if you take the pocket expand, it also means that your creep spread is going to be a tiny bit later. So wonder why Rogue does it, but let's see if we can figure it out in the next few minutes.
That's right. I mean, just like on Proxima and just like on, one of the new maps, oh god, what's it? It's the scary looking one.
Acolyte.
Acolyte, that's the one.
Yeah.
So Acolyte has that pocket expand as well, but generally Zerg's going to take the front because it does get that creep spread connected so much quicker. You start to move across the map, you start to get your tumors already out the front of your, where you're supposed to take your third base.
And especially when you play against a Protoss player like herO, you want to get creep spread. Vision is everything. It just makes your life so much easier. Seeing a Prism fly in, seeing Oracles fly over, seeing a couple of Adepts get close enough to a mineral line. You need to have vision. It's absolutely detrimental if you want to play against players like herO. Otherwise, you're just going to get caught off guard over and over and over again. But we'll see. Rogue awfully close to a $10,000 paycheck, which is what he will get if he ends up winning this entire tournament. The loser of this series will still walk away with $4,000, and obviously, perhaps a lot more important for these 2 young men, WCS points. Because Maynard, that prize pool, just got even bigger for the global finals at the end of the year.
Sure did. The war chest getting that extra $2,000. $200,000. I missed a couple zeros there, going to that grand final map. So I think that things are looking pretty good for WCS this year. I can't wait to see the global finals and who's there. And I mean, when you see Rogue this strong and herO this strong in Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai, which is basically groups filled with GSL Code S level players, And it's looking pretty good for when they go back home to Korea as well.
The problem is there's like 12 of these guys that all look very, very, very good. But only a couple of them can make it. And don't forget that a few of them are already locked in. A player like TY guaranteed to be at the global finals at the end of the year because he won in Katowice and also because he has way too many points. Stats also guaranteed. Gumiho also guaranteed. So you've got like 6, 7, 8 players that are all fighting over just a couple of spots. Beyond being one of them, herO absolutely being one of them, and herO kind of saying like, hey guys, I'm one of them too if he ends up winning this tournament, because he's still got a couple of chances left to score more points.
Yeah, I mean, if he wins GSL, that's a free ticket as well.
Yeah.
One more season of GSL to go look forward to as time goes on. And looks like we're going to have Archon drops here on the way for herO, the ye old Archon drop, which was so prevalent in the meta for a long time in PvZ, and it gets scouted by Rogue.
Overlord flying over, he's going to spot all the gateways, but this is one of these builds where even if you scout it as a Zerg, that doesn't mean that you're totally out of the woods just yet. It's one of these builds where it's like, okay, at least I know it's coming. I have to make sure that my queens are in the right position, that I don't over or underproduce units, but at the same time, you know, it all comes down to execution.
Sees the Prism walk out, second Prism on the way here for herO, and Shrine obviously done as well. So Rogue's going to start to probably get some static defense there. He's going to be getting some Spore Crawlers, usually Spine Crawlers, everything that you need to deal with the Dark Templar harassment. He's actually just going to go straight into Archons immediately, not even going to worry about the DT harassment.
I mean, we remember that game earlier this tournament, right, that he played, where he went in for 4 Dark Templars and then 3 more against Solar. But that's just because you know that if Solar has 8 units, 7 of them are going to be on the other side of the map trying to do damage to you. That is a very quick charge follow-up, by the way. I don't think we have a Forge just yet, but it's going to be important that Rogue is aware of that quick charge. I'm curious to see when herO decides to do something with it. Maybe it's just, you know, still going to a macro game, but you never know. So far, these queens are pushing this Warp Prism away. These Archons not really getting that much done yet. A couple of shots, but you don't want to take any real damage on the Prism, only the shields.
Well, looks like those Zealots going to be warped in at that second Prism here, and herO going to try and hit and harass at 2 places at once. Pretty effective as a lot of the queens are here in the main.
I love double Prism play on Blood Boil. I've done it quite a few times myself. I've seen other Protoss players do it. herO, obviously, one of the most well-known players to do it. Especially when you have Archons and Zealots, it becomes very awkward because, you know, if there's like no roaches, Lynx will die very, very quickly because the Lynx are going to try to wrap around the Zealots, and then suddenly there's an Archon or 2 in the back. These Zealots, however, don't have +1 yet, and that makes it very hard to just fight straight up Lynx because you need an Archon behind it if you don't have +1 on the Zealots.
Speaking of upgrades, Double Forge going down back at home for herO, so it looks like he wants to get into the later stages or go for an upgrade timing here. But at this stage, it looks like the Zealot harassment is on the cards here. Gets wrapped around and denied by Rogue pretty easily, and a little bit of a pick up there to keep 3 of them alive.
Both Prisms, I think, are going to swing to the back of the natural right now, as we have that one Archon.
Oh, that's very low. I don't know about that.
It's going to be bumpy, right? But it's still alive, Maynard, and that's all that matters. So this is a big weapon. Are there enough Hydras here?
All the Hydras are going to start to react, but not before the Archons get unloaded. And Archons can engage this with some nice micro, both Prisms in the fight here.
One Archon went down there.
Yeah, it's a bit of unfortunate there, a little bit of a mistake from herO.
A lot of low HP Hydras, an incredibly low HP Queen there as well. herO not getting too fortunate. Needs to do a little bit more. Yes, there is double forge. Yes, he is macroing up on the other side of the map. But if you open up with this many Zealots and 2 Prisms, you really do want to do a little bit more. Like one Warp, actually, I really feel that the key thing that herO should do is try to delay a 4th base.
Oh man, one of the Prisms go down, the other one already quite low. The Hydra is targeted down.
God.
Both Prisms are dead. Oh, this is devastating for herO here. He's going to lose absolutely everything. This is a very expensive amount of units.
And this also means that he cannot deny this 4th hatchery from going up anymore, which I think is the real true power of this double Prism build. Because as a Zerg, you're so paranoid. You wonder, where do I take my units? Where I have to put my units? And then that second Prism is just somewhere else. You warp in 6 Zealots. You get a cancel on that 4th hatch. And suddenly you're sitting there very awkwardly as a Zerg. All right, I'm a 3-hatch Zerg. But getting both Prisms, Rogue doesn't have a worry in the world right now.
And I'm actually very surprised that those Prisms didn't split up either. They were both together, trying to, you know, just drop together. But
yeah, I mean, he tried to find openings in the beginning, but we said it, man. Rogue is Neo from the Matrix. He dodges everything. So then herO's like, all right, if you have a couple units everywhere, I'll show up with both Prisms in the back of your natural. But I think after he did that the first time, he should have just sent one Prism away to make sure you don't end up losing both.
Rogue moves like they do, just like the agents. How does he do that?
This is, I mean, Lurker then is almost done, Maynard. It's almost.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, man. Third Prism to die in this game, and things going from bad to worse for herO again. Rogue up 50 supply, and a lot of that is in Army. And I think we might be seeing a pretty devastating attack here from Rogue.
Rogue just told everybody, never ever dance your units against me in game number 1, because my ref will be evil, or hard, merciless. I don't know, Maynard, help me out.
I think
devastating.
It'll be complete. His wrath will be complete, devastating. All those words, they all comply here. And we are seeing a desperate defense here from herO, but he is against Lurkers, he is against Hydras, he is up against a lot of links, and a very important production facility is right in the front here as well.
No observers!
No observers, because this thing's been pumping out Immortals, and these Lurkers are going to start shredding everything apart.
Immortals and Warp Prisms, that's Warp Prism number 4, but there is no detection. Nothing can spot all these Lurkers at this point. Rogue takes a commanding lead here in Blood Boy, and I think this is the beginning of the end. These Immortals are pretty much trapped as well. This Nexus is gonna go down, and Rogue wants to kiss that trophy.
I think we've got our champion, the Green Wings Rogue is going to get his first ever championship here in Shanghai. There is no answer here for herO. Last Storm going down. These Lurkers cannot be stopped. No robotics facility, no detection.
He still has one robot, so he is making an observer, but I mean, it's just taking forever. He already took so much damage, and don't forget that during all of this, Rogue is macroing up on the other side of the map. herO did somehow find it in him to send a couple of Zealots to the other side of the map, making 5 gateways at once, trying to do whatever he can to spend his money, as he obviously lost quite a bit of production facilities already. But look at the supply. Todd is screaming at us. Rogue is not going to be stopped here.
He can see him now with the observer now popping, but he can't stop them. He doesn't have the numbers. He has a bunch of charge lots. They're going to have +2, but these Lurkers and the Hydras defending them may just prove to be too much. The Lurkers are getting thrown resistance, but the Zealots are just not high enough. The Probes all die.
The observer dies. He gets the observer there as well with the Overseer, and if it wasn't it yet, I mean, this cannon is the only detection he has right now in the main, Maynard.
I think herO is just digesting the loss. There is no answer, and Rogue is going to kill the main Nexus. He is going to kill herO, and he is going to be your Intel Extreme Masters champion. GG!
Wow, Rogue, after 7 years,